Good morning. Welcome. Oh, there. Sorry about that. Welcome to Wednesday Live. Welcome to Homebuilt Workshop. And welcome to 2023. Wow. It's going to take me about 11 months to get used to saying that, and then it's going to be time to do it all over again. Well, what is going on? How's your new year treating you? I hope you're off to a good start. I got a ton of stuff to get to working on around here, and we'll get to some of that here shortly. We'll give you a couple of minutes to get tuned in here, and then we're just going to jump right in. It's a little bit chilly here this morning. My apologies if you hear some heat, the heater running. I got it right there, one of them blowing on me to kind of keep my hands from freezing up. But a little cold and snowy here in Colorado. I hope it's awesome in whatever part of the world you're in. Harry Dude's here. Harry Dude says, "What's up? Happy New Year, dude." Happy New Year, man. Welcome to 2023. It's time to rock the year, right? Get some stuff done. Robert's here. Robert says, "Hello, people." What's going on, Robert? Happy New Year. Right on. Right on. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that we're in the new year already. Man. Neptunes is here. Neptune says, "Happy New Year, people." Happy New Year, man. Robert says, "Happy New Year. Stay safe and healthy." We're going to do our best, and I hope you guys all do the same. Get situated here. Let's see. Right on. All right. So I'm kind of glad. I'm excited to get this year started because I don't know, just the last couple of weeks, you know, with Christmas and New Year's and that weird week between the two, and it just feels like I don't know. It's hard to get much done. So I'm looking forward to getting back on track and getting things rolling and getting some more projects done. What are your guys' goals for the year? Do you guys set goals? I don't mean like, the resolution or stuff like that, but maybe you do. I never was really big on the resolutions. I just get excited at the beginning of a year, you know, looking forward to all of the things that we can accomplish. But I'm curious to know what do you guys think? Do you guys set resolutions? Do you just try to set goals, or do you just kind of wing it and roll with the punches? Pretty good. I know for me, like I said, I don't really do the resolution thing, but I do get excited about the upcoming year. It's kind of a, just a new, I don't even know how to explain it. I just get excited and look forward to what's to come. Harry Dude says, "I don't do New Year's resolutions, more like birthday ones." Birthday resolutions. Paul's here. Paul says, "Hello, everyone. Happy New Year." Happy New Year, Paul. I hope your year is off to a good start. Robert says, "Here in Orlando, Oklahoma." I didn't know there was an Orlando. That's kind of cool. It's 36 degrees. Feels like 28. Supposed to get up to 52. Still want to get my shop garage built. Right on. Yeah, we are, I don't know, we're like 26 degrees right now. Seems like we've had snow here on fall overnight the last several nights in a row. We haven't had this much snow on the ground in quite a while. And it's still only, I don't know, 10 inches, maybe a foot in some of the deeper parts. Henry's here. Henry says, "Morning. Morning, Henry. How are you this fine Wednesday? Happy New Year." Neptunes, I've tried doing resolutions, but they never work. I know, they always seem to go by the wayside. Yeah, I don't set resolutions, like I said, I'm just excited for the year, really. I got lots of things that I want to get to this year. we'll just see how everything goes. Robert says it's a little spot in the road that if you blink going through town, you'll miss it. Sounds like the town I grew up in, and I'm sure it is an awesome little town. If it's anything like where I grew up. Just a little small town with a, kind of a gas station, convenience store kind of thing, and a church, and, well, they closed the school a while back. The post office, I think, might still be there. I don't know. But yeah, it's just a little small town, no stop signs or red lights, just the main road that goes through. And Robert says, I just make it up as I go. Nothing wrong with that. Yep, so this year for me, I've got now that the acoustic guitar is done, I need to get back, and there's a few other projects that I want to tackle. So I'm going to be working on those probably over the next week or two. Trying to get a few little things out of the way, and then I need to get to another electric guitar, maybe a couple of them. And there's a guitar show here. Well, it's up in Denver, and I went to it last year just as a visitor, and I did a video on that, kind of a vlog style kind of video. It was really fun. I had a good time there, just visiting and checking out all of everyone's work. But I'm thinking I kind of want to do a booth there this year, so I need to have a few guitars that I can take up there. So I'm kind of looking at what I've got. A few bodies, guitar bodies and stuff around here. I might work on putting a couple of those together, or at least one or two, just so I have a couple of them right now, kind of in stock. But I might finish up a bass that I started, almost a little over a year ago when I did that kind of Thunderbird style bass. I might finish that to take up there, and maybe complete another one. I just want to have some stuff, and I think I might enter into that. Not enter in, but I might sign up for that show and just be a vendor up there. So I want to get some guitars done. So I need to get a couple projects knocked out, a couple little things. And then probably get to some more guitars. And then once that's done, probably after the show, I think the show is in March, the end of March, then I probably will start on, I'll start in on the next acoustic. But before I do that, I got to build a side bender, so that's going to be another project coming up in the next month or two, probably. Well, maybe this month, honestly. I don't know. But that's kind of how I'm planning stuff right now, just kind of based on kind of planning around this guitar show. So I need to get a couple guitars ready to take up there. Neptune says, I heard you had some really heavy snow over the Christmas week. Coworker went to see family there, and he went to Pikes Peak. Yes, we had. We probably got. It was after Christmas. Christmas we had like nothing. What did we get? We probably got, I measured 5 inches on the ground, but it was really fairly warm when it started, so it probably ended up being, we probably got 8 inches, maybe a foot. There are some areas where we had some drifts, and those definitely were, 12 inches plus. So we got a pretty good snowstorm. I think that was the Wednesday after Christmas. And then the last couple of nights, we got some. We got a couple inches a few nights ago, and I don't know, we might have got an inch last night. Maybe not. Maybe it was just some flurries, but I know there was some snow coming down. So we haven't had snow like this in a while, and I kind of like it, except that it makes it really cold. But I personally enjoy the snow. Not so much about the driving around in it. I am completely comfortable driving in the snow because I grew up driving in the snow. But man, you get a little snow on the ground out here. I don't know about where you guys live, but it's less than desirable to be out on the roads with everybody else. If you know what I mean. Henry says, what do you usually eat for breakfast? And that, oops, my girlfriend said I already asked you that a few shows ago. That's all right. We're looking for suggestions. I kind of remember maybe talking quickly about that. A lot of times during the week, a lot of times I don't typically eat breakfast. Now I know there's arguments on either side of the fence about that, but the first thing in the morning when I get up, I usually put on my coffee and I'll have a couple cups of coffee, just as I'm kind of pondering the day. Just to while I'm waking up and everything, have usually about 2 cups of coffee, and I don't typically eat till around mid-morning. Excuse me. I think there's a term for that, but it's almost like that. What do they call it? Intermittent fasting. I mean, I don't purposely do that whole thing, but that's kind of what I do. I don't know why. I enjoy breakfast. Breakfast is one of my favorite meals of the day. Sometimes I'll have a bowl of cereal or something with my daughter while we're getting ready while she's getting ready to head off to school, or before I have to take her to school. But most of the time, I don't really eat something early in the morning. Like I said, about midday, I might eat a sandwich or something little, kind of a brunch really, and then after that, really, I eat a pretty big dinner. Not big, but a normal dinner. I don't know. My eating patterns probably are a little different than everybody, but yeah. It's kind of what I do. Neptune says, I like snow, but not shoveling it. I actually had to shovel. We have a pretty big driveway, so I can't. It's much too big to shovel the whole thing. So I usually just shovel out around the house, and then like a path here to the shop, and then that lets it melt off, at least a lot quicker than some of the other areas. That way I'm not tracking snow and mud back and forth into the house. But the driveway usually, we just drive on it and it gets packed down. The only time I'll, man, my throat. What the heck's going on here? The driveway I don't worry too much about clearing most of the time. We have a tractor that, with a bucket. So it's really, if you've ever plowed snow with a bucket, you'll know that it's a little bit challenging, because if you don't get your bucket tipped just right, if you have it tipped too far back, it just glides over the top of the snow. And if you have it tipped too far forward, well, then it digs right into the ground and makes a big mess. The problem here is the ground's not frozen. Or at least the top layer is not frozen. So if I'm plowing the driveway with a bucket, that usually makes a big mess. So I usually only reserve that for like if we get like a blizzard or something and we absolutely can't get out. Now Robert says, yeah, if everyone knew how to drive on snow, it would be a lot better. Henry says, mid-morning, I think the term is breakfast. Breakfast? Yeah. Nicola says, we've not had a drop of snow yet. Interesting. Do you typically get snow? Let's see, I think that's really small. Is that England? Sorry if I got that wrong. The little icon is about that big. Chiller Tech Texas says it's almost 75 here today. We'll send a little bit of that up here. I'll take it. Let's see. Dan says, breakfast is one of my top 3 meals of the day. Man, I love breakfast. I really do. Like not necessarily at, like early in the morning, but any time of the day. I like, pancakes, waffles, bacon, sausage, eggs, hash browns, all that stuff. That is one of my favorite meals. almost of all time. In any combination, really. For dinner, a lot of times for dinner, we'll have, maybe, I don't know about once a week, but almost once a week we'll do some sort of breakfast for dinner, waffles and sausage or, eggs, and it's so good. And Nicholas says, yes, okay, good. I didn't want to get that wrong. Harry Dude says, mid-morning, I think the term is too early to be out of bed. Fair enough. Paul says, I have about a cord of wood on my patio and still haven't been able to burn anything yet. Because it's been so warm? Rick's here! Rick says, hey Jeff, how you doing? Rick says, you getting any snow in Colorado? Yes, my friend, we have snow on the ground. It's kind of cool. We're not getting, the feet of snow that some of the mountain areas get, but we have a fair bit on there. We probably have 8 to 10 inches. That's just a rough guess, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I gotta shift this thing just a little. I was leaning over in my seat to try to stay in the frame. All right, Henry asks, have you ever used any felled trees on your property to make a guitar? Yes, I have. I still have a little bit of it left, but a while back we had some Siberian elm trees that were taken down because they have some sort of a blight or something in them, and they're dying. There's still a couple more that are on their way out. They'll probably have more in the future. But I milled those up 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. It's been a little while. I've not done a guitar body, I guess, out of it, but I've done some necks. In fact, the cigar box guitar that I did for the Great Guitar Build-Off for 2022, the wood in that was some of that Siberian elm that I milled from logs with an Alaskan chainsaw mill. I've made a lot of stuff out of that wood, different jigs and stuff like that. I still have I've got 2 slabs that I brought inside to keep the snow off them, and I've got, I think, maybe 2 more slabs sitting outside under, stacked and stickered and covered with a tarp that I think I might do a guitar out of that. I've also got kind of a crotch piece that has a lot of splits and it's kind of a nasty piece, but I've been saving it because it's about the right size to do a one-piece guitar body, but I'd have to fill it with a bunch of epoxy. So that has been kind of running through my mind as maybe a possibility. I'm not sure yet, but I might. But it is cool to be able to build anything really from lumber that you milled from a log. And I still have a fair bit of log material. I started milling one, I think it was early in the year. Maybe it was, yeah, I think it was. I still have half of that giant log that I need to mill up. And I was actually kind of studying that a couple days ago, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that. Oh, Henry says, do you have any farm animals? I don't, personally. We don't. But where I live, I have neighbors that have, there's horses and bulls and stuff like that around. So we have a fair bit of exposure to animals. Which I grew up with animals. My grandpa always had cows and stuff like that, and then of course I worked on a dairy farm. So I enjoy being around animals, and I would like to get some of my own, really. Paul says, yep, didn't want to burn through it about 2 weeks ago when it got cold, because the last 2 years have been the coldest in January. and wood is hard to get here and quite pricey. I imagine it's not as easy to come by as other areas. It's not easy to find here either. There's a few places here that sell it, but most of it's softwood. I kind of think that yours might be kind of the same. But we have, when was that? 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, we had a really bad forest fire nearby here. So there's a place that's taking a lot of these dead trees. They got burned and they're being used for firewood. So, but it's all, you know, softwood, pines, and I don't know what all exactly, but mostly softwood. Neptune says, shorts weather here in Texas. I'm by Beaumont, 68 here. Wow. Robert says it's been pretty much of a dry spell with the guitar build channels lately. I did see one from Sweet Tea last night, and about a week or so, a week ago, from Torrenly Guitars. Yeah, I think, you know, we're probably, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I was really trying to keep videos and stuff rolling, you know, over the holiday times. But it just got to be really challenging. And I ended up not putting out a video last week, even though I've got one that's mostly edited. I just didn't get enough time to put it together. And I kind of got a feeling that a lot of people also fall into that same thing. But I would imagine now that the new year's going, we'll start to see some more stuff. I know I'll be working on some more guitar stuff here shortly. Paul says, did you see that chunk of mesquite I have to mill this weekend? 2 more pieces just like it. Yes, I saw that. Over in the Homebuilt Workshop Facebook group, Paul had posted this mesquite log, and it's a big, giant thing that he's going to turn into some guitars. So if you want to see what he's talking about, head over to the Facebook group, Built Not Bought, and have a peek. XK Tree says, good morning, Jeff. I'm leaving Boulder right now, headed back to SoCal. I plan to stop for gas in Colorado Springs. What's a good local breakfast spot? Oh, man. Well, first off, travel safe. I don't know what the roads are like up there. This morning I was out taking my daughter to school, and, you know, the roads where I am are mostly okay. You know, that snow down the middle kind of thing, but it wasn't bad. But travel safe. You're going to stop in the Springs. Man, a good local breakfast spot. So you're probably going right down 25. I got to think about this for a second. It's not local, but I always love Waffle House. There used to be, I can't remember the name of it. There used to be a place, what the heck were they called? Is it Omelet Parlor, I believe? I think that's the name of it. And they have some pretty good chili, green chili. I don't know exactly their location. I'd have to look it up because honestly I can't remember. But if you got a minute, look it up and see if you can find an Omelet Parlor in the Springs. I'm pretty sure they have 1, maybe 2 locations. I think they're pretty good. I think it's called Omelet Parlor. Paul says, gonna put it in my solar kiln. Should take about 2 or 3 weeks to get it dry enough to use. Paul says, my remote property about an hour away is 20 acres of woods, but I cut it sparingly. Yeah, I don't blame you. I would do the same. That's cool. Paul says, I'm going to try doing a guitar build from scratch and put it on my YouTube channel. Yeah, do it, man. Try to post some stuff up there when, whenever you can. That'd be awesome. Neptunes, there he is. There's the link to the Facebook group. Yeah, check it out, guys. If you wanted to be able to post some of your work or ask questions or It keeps cutting out. Stop it. Stop it. Anyway, sorry. Robert says, my bad, it's Tornelli Guitars over in Italy. Sweet Tea and Tornelli are going to be doing a build. Oh, like a build together. That's cool. Rick says, okay, everyone, I got to go take care. Have a great day. Right on. Right on, Rick. Have a good one, man. Thanks for dropping by. Henry says, King's Chef Diner is pretty good. Yes, that's another one. I couldn't think of the name. I thought they closed one of their locations, but it might be back open. Yes, King's Chef is really good as well. It's been 10 years since I've been there because it's downtown and I just don't get down that way too often. But yes, King's Chef is good. Robert says you're back. Yeah, apparently my signal issues are still plaguing me. I even spent a little bit of time yesterday moving routers and wireless things around. trying to get all that sorted out. And then I just got a new low battery notification. Why? Great. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way to the end. Yeah, we're at 10% battery. What's up with that? That's not cool. It was like 80% earlier. What's killing the battery? XK Tree says thank you. Right on. Safe travels. Really. Have a good trip. Be careful going up over those passes if you're going through Colorado. Dave's here. Dastardly Dave says sup all. What's up, Dave? What's going on, man? I'm trying to think if I have a charging cable in here, and I don't think I do. I'm going to plug this thing in. We're not going to make it much longer. Something's draining the battery like crazy. Robert says it's pausing a bit, but still have sound. It's pausing on my end, too. I need to get one of those wireless, one of those mesh internet things. You know, those mesh deals, and see if that would help. Right on. So yeah, if you guys remember, I've been talking about it. I used to do these on Facebook as well as YouTube every other week. Now, every Wednesday, we're doing it here. We're going to be right here on YouTube. I'm not doing the back and forth anymore. So every week, we'll be right here on YouTube. So you don't have to worry about, well, is it over? Is it on there? Or is it here? Every Wednesday. We'll be right here. Dave says Arlo makes a good mesh system. I got to check into that. Some of them that I've been looking at. One of them is I think it's an Asus system. That seems like it might work pretty good for what I need. Neptune says woohoo! Yeah, no more flip flopping. Robert says still doing some things with the CNC. I haven't ran the CNC in several days, mainly because I'm working on some drawings. I've been doing the computer work. I'm working on drawing up a guitar on the computer with my goal to be able to cut that out on the CNC. So I've done several things on it so far, but right now I'm trying to work on this design so that I can start doing some prototypes. Probably just going to do it out of foam, like that insulation foam stuff, just to mock up, test my program before I actually put a piece of wood in it. Paul says just put a bunch of tinfoil on the cattle horns and let them wander around. Should increase your internet signal. That's a great idea. I'm going to need you to come up here and jump in the pen with them, though, because the ones that are here, they're not necessarily pets. They're like bucking bulls, and I'll let them come up. They'll come up and take hay from your hand, but I ain't jumping in that pen with them. Harry Dude says, do you have power line Ethernet systems in the U.S.? We have systems where you can send Ethernet data on the power lines within the property. We do have those. I've not tried those, though. Have you used them? And do you have any insight as to how well they work? Robert says cool. Paul says, my wife wants a pet cow so bad. Get her a mini Highland. Have you ever seen those mini Highlands? Man, they're so cool. There's this little tiny ball of fur. If you haven't seen them, look up a mini Highland cow. They're pretty neat. I'm trying to keep an eye on this battery. Oh, it still says 10%. So I think we're probably okay for now. And Neptune says then the Martians can't read their brains. I don't think they'd get a whole lot out of them reading their brains. I don't know. So let's I want to hear from you. What kind of projects are you going to get done this year? Do you want to get done this year? What's kind of on your mind that you want to tackle? Oh. Neptune says paranoid cows. They're already paranoid sometimes. You should see how these goofy things are. Paul says, my goal is full-time luthier by end of the year. Bam! I love it. You will do it. You will do it. I got your back. Knock it out of the park, man. Neptune says, to get my shop up and running. Yeah, do it. We need to hold each other to these. At this moment, I don't have a giant goal yet. I just know that there's projects that I need to make this year, that I want to make this year. One of them is going to be hopefully to finish acoustic guitar number 2. To build I got to build a side bender. I've got to get to the binding jig. I've got to reconfigure that, get the drawings and the parts and everything out there. I've got to get the CNC figured out. Well, for cutting guitars. I haven't quite got that giant goal yet. Like last year was finish the acoustic guitar. But at the beginning of the year, I didn't have that goal in mind. It wasn't till about mid-January or so when I really kind of took on that challenge. So kind of winging it as far as the big builds go. I would love to be able to get into a larger shop. It's not... Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't look super promising, but it's always in the back of my mind. You never know, right? What the year's going to bring. You never know what's going to come up. Robert says, I saw a video a few days ago where this lady wanted a mini cow and her family gave her one for Christmas. It was just above her knees and they found it was already pregnant. Oh, wow. Neptune says, I have most of the parts for the electronic lead screw project that Cloud42 developed. It's for my metal lathe. Oh, to be able to make lead screws? Because that would be cool. Rogue's here! Rogue says, hey Jeff, good to see you, man. Right on, Rogue. Happy New Year. That's awesome. Right on. How have you been? To check our battery. I've got to keep an eye on it. It's still at 10%. That's so weird. How did it go from 80 to 10 and now it's sitting at 10? Huh. Anyway. That's awesome. Don't forget, guys, at any point during these lives, hit that thumbs up button. Supposedly, you know, everybody says algorithms, wah, 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 you know. But, no, just hit that thing. If you enjoy these things, you enjoy hanging out and just chatting, and hit that thumbs up. It'd be great. Appreciate it. Neptune says, no, it controls the lead screw without having to change thread gears. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. I gotcha. Rogue says, all is well. You too, man. Been putting together toys, feels like for a week. I know what you mean. We didn't do like Christmas toys. I'm guessing, you know, Christmas presents. We actually didn't do a ton of toys this year because everybody else kind of took care of that. So we, you know, I still had some to put together and packages to get rid of, and you know, all that, the mess of cardboard boxes and. Yep, I'm kind of stuck in the seat here. This coffee's good, especially because it's kind of chilly in here. All right, so let's see here. I was going to say something and I forgot where I was going with that. So I'm just going to move along. So I want to ask you guys, is there any sort of, what sort of projects or videos or, you know, stuff like that would you like to see if I, you know, is there something that you kind of would like to see me try to do, or something that I can explain more? Or is there anything that's kind of on your mind as something you'd really like to see me put into a video? I'm always open to suggestions. I have a lot of, I have a giant list of projects and things that I want to do, but that's all. It's all fluid. It can move around. A lot of times, a question or something will come up, and you know, I'll end up making a video about that, and everything moves around. But I'd love to hear from you guys if there's something you'd like to see, a project you'd like to see me do, or some sort of, you know, just I don't know. Do you guys have any suggestions? Not because I don't have a list 43 miles long, but if there is something that you would find helpful, you know, I'd love to be able to put those together based on your suggestions. Neptune says, my wife got me tickets to see Jeff Dunham on the 14th. That's cool. I've not seen him, but I've heard it's a really good show. Neptune says, more leatherwork, 3D printing, and CNC. Well, Neptune's one of my, actually I've got at least 2 leather projects that I'm probably going to be getting to sooner rather than later. So we got those coming up. And yeah, I've always wanted to make a leather guitar strap. So I know I'm going to do that. And also I want to try a little bit of tooling leather, you know, with the stamps and everything. So I've got a little project in mind that I want to try, which will give me the chance to at least try a little bit of tooling. So I've got those coming up. Probably one of them I might get to this month, actually. I probably will, because it's one of those things that's just been on my mind that I just want to knock out. So I'm wrapping up a video right now for this weekend. But then I've got a kind of a, what the heck's the word? A repurposing project that I want to try to, I've got some like old furniture pieces, not really old, but you know, like some discarded knockdown, you know, flat pack style furniture that a friend of mine gave me, and I want to see basically what I can make out of it. So I got that coming up. That one mainly because I need to get these parts out of the shop. Then I might do the leather, one of the leather projects. Then probably start on a guitar. So that's going to take us to the end of January. Paul wants to see some ice carving projects. I got the little chainsaw. I got one of those little, you know, those little like 12-inch chainsaws. Rogue says, I personally like the rewiring and refurb of the shop light because it's right up my wheelhouse. Ah, cool. I'll have to find some more old things. Maybe I need to hit up the antique mall or something like that. Or the flea market will be starting up here, I think. I don't know, springtime. I haven't been to that in years. Maybe that would be fun. We should go there in a video, like go to the flea market and find something to rebuild. Rogue says, that sounds good, the furniture. That's what I was kind of thinking. I've been pondering how I'm going to approach that in the video, because it's not necessarily going to be like a how-to kind of thing, because, you know, not everybody's going to have this, you know, these parts that or these pieces. But I think it's just going to be, you know, kind of one of those, let's see what we can make from this stuff. You know, just more of, kind of in the spirit of encouraging everyone to, you know, look at other ways to use things instead of just throwing it away. These things were going to get thrown in the trash. And my friend of mine said, hey, do you want these? I'm like, sure, you know, maybe we can make something out of it. I don't know. So that one will be coming up. I think it's going to be kind of fun. So I'm hoping when I start putting that video together, I hope I can, my goal is to approach it from, let's see what happens, have some fun doing it, and, you know, that sort of thing. So that should be kind of cool. And Neptune says, cool. Right on. So yeah, see, leather work coming up. I got to get some stamps though, are they the stamps? I think that's what they're called. Whatever they're called. I want to try like basket stamping. Neptune says, how about fixing some surface rust on a vehicle? I have the donor, just don't want to do it. I've done that a lot. Before I moved to Colorado, working with my dad. I've said it before, he runs a auto body shop, but he's still, you know, doing body work and painting and sandblasting and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely stuff that I've done before. Maybe. I've been thinking about it. The challenge for me is I have to time the weather right. This time of year is really not great for me to try to do that because I got to do that work outside. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Rogue says, leatherwork sounds good too. Only ever done engraving. Oh, little engraving. Yeah, I haven't done, you know, I've made several, I've made a fair bit of things out of leather, you know, little pouches and cases and sheaths and that sort of thing. But I've not done any tooling, you know, where you're actually putting the, you know, tooling the leather and embossing it, sort of. So I kind of want to try it. I want to get into, I want to try to do the basket stamping and stuff. A good one to watch, if you guys aren't familiar, is look up Don Gonzalez. I think it's DG Leathercraft. I can't remember what his YouTube channel name is, but look him up. He's a leather worker, saddle maker. He's out of Texas somewhere. But man, he does a lot of like the hand, you know, the carved, with the swivel knife, you know, and all kinds of amazing tooling. Really cool. If you want some tooling inspiration, go check him out. It's pretty cool. There's also a leather shop here I recently learned about that I would like to go visit. What the heck is that called now? Rocky Mountain. Is it Rocky Mountain? Man, I can't remember the place now. But they're not far from me. Like probably maybe 20 minutes from me. And it'd be kind of cool to go over there and see, you know, maybe, I don't know if I would be able to tour the shop or anything, but it would be definitely really cool to visit some local people like that. Robert says, if you checked on the prices for one of the kit buildings from maybe Lowe's, maybe if you have space, might get one add on as the current shop to give you more space. I've thought about that before. They have some that are fairly good size. Like I want to live in one. They even have 2-story ones. Henry says you should do a collab with your dad so he can paint a guitar. After all, the old guitar colors were DuPont. Yes, that would be kind of cool actually. I had an idea the other day for a guitar body. I'm not going to put it out there just yet because I got to ponder it a little more. But that might be kind of cool. Have it painted. Maybe so. I do have several guitars Not ones that I've made. This was before I started making them. But I do have 2 that my brother has painted. My brother is also a painter. Went to school, got the degree, all that sort of thing. And he's an amazing painter. But he's painted a couple of them for me. But we didn't, that was before videos and all that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, that might be kind of fun. Yeah, I like that. Robert said, just had to answer the door, had some Bible people stop by to talk to me. Paul says some of their smaller buildings are not 2x4 construction and they use cheap materials. Built my shop 10x16, 11 foot tall, 2 lofts for $3,600. Took 1 month, weekends only. I think I would enjoy it more building it myself. I just need a place to put it. And there's Mike. Mike's here. Mike says good morning. What's going on, Mike? Good morning to you. How are you doing this fine Wednesday? Happy New Year. Welcome to 2023. Mike says still in bed. No reason to get up for us. You just hang out, buddy. Oh, another thing that I want to do this year, I think I mentioned it before several weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I'm going to work to improve these live streams a little bit. I told you a friend of mine had given me an old laptop that I wanted to repurpose to be able to, connect a better camera, for the live streams, and I can use, OBS and all that. There was a problem with the screen, so I took it to a local repair place to have the screen fixed, and they're having trouble getting the new screen in. So I still don't have that back yet, but that's another one of my goals that I want to do. I want to bump up the lives instead of me just sitting in front of the iPad if I can. Of course, that's also going to involve me getting a better internet service out here. So another one I want to do. I don't know why I just thought about that, but Paul says wanted 240 square foot, but the largest city would allow is 160. Oh, it's a percentage of home property size. Now, can you go taller? So here, this is something kind of funny, and I'm pretty sure I've got this correct, but I may have it wrong. My uncle at one time was building some little work sheds, and it's the same kind of thing, right? You can only build it so big, but so he built it the maximum size, but they didn't say how high you could go. So he had this little, I don't know, 10 by, I don't know, in your case, 10 by 16 or 12 by 12 or some kind of, whatever the max footprint was. He made it 2 stories, so it was like this little tiny, tall 2-story building, and had a big giant staircase that led up to the upper deck, and it looked a little strange, but it worked, and he got around. They didn't say anything. Let's see. Robert says going to have to do some shopping in Stillwater. Rogue says, any more projects with the 3D printer in the works? At the moment, I don't have anything specific. I'm always making things, jigs and patterns and parts and pieces. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of 3D printing happening. I don't have anything specific at the moment. Is there something that you kind of would like to see? Again, I'm open to suggestions on pretty much all of this stuff. Like, if there's something you want to see, I am all for it if it's something I can do, especially if it helps you guys. Paul says, if you can't get monitor fixed, just add an external monitor to the laptop. Yes, and I did that before I took it to the shop, just to make sure, that, because the screen worked, but the colors were all messed up, right? Like it lost like the magenta or something. So I plugged in an external to it, and that came up perfectly. But the reason that I wanted to get it fixed is so that I can have it as a little portable, as a portable deal. To bring it out here to set up a live stream, to then have to bring out the laptop plus the external monitor plus the camera, it's just more than I would like to do. If I was going to leave it in a stationary, in a docking station or something, absolutely I would plug an external monitor in it and move on. But I wanted it to be portable like it's supposed to be. And I could have used it as it was, but the colors were wrong, so I couldn't tell really. When I plug a camera into it, I could see that the picture comes up, but I couldn't really tell what it really looked like. So I really would like to get this thing fixed. I guess the shop had to order in one, like a takeoff, right? This, because it's hard to find these. And the one that they got in was bad, so he's going back and forth with the place trying to get a replacement. I don't know. I'm not super happy about it at the moment. And I almost would say just give it back to me. But he's already pulled the old screen out, and now I need a screen in order to have a working machine. So hopefully you can get that figured out here pretty quick. Paul says 11.5 is the tallest I can go. Interesting. Rogue says that makes sense. The max footprint. Yep. Mike says check local zoning and building codes. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble with anybody. I don't need that. Paul says I could have done 10 by 10 with no permits, but that would have been too small. Yeah, that would be pretty small. 10 by 10 is a little bit smaller than the space that I have, and I don't have a lot of space. Robert says I want to build an ICF construction shop that's about 30 by 40 and 9 foot tall. Insulation concrete forms, in other words. Yes, those are incredible. My brother, when he built his house, used those forms, those foam deals, and then you pour the concrete in the middle, and they are incredible. And he now swears by them. And yeah. Brian's here. Brian says hi everyone. Just getting in from work. Wanted to stop in and say hi. Happy New Year. Hope you're all well. Right on, Brian. Happy New Year, man. Paul says I have an older Dell mini laptop, 10-inch screen that works fine if you need a small portable laptop. Don't really use it for anything. Could donate an add-on processor. Maybe I might. I gotta see. I want to see how this thing goes out, or how this thing turns out. Hopefully they can get a screen put in there so that it at least works. It was kind of weird, and I got a funny feeling when I was talking to him, and he told me the new one was not working right, and I don't know. I don't have high hopes at the moment, which kind of makes me upset because it was working before, but I haven't got it back yet, so fingers crossed. I do have remember those old netbooks? I think it's like a 10-inch thing. I have one of those, but it barely has enough power to boot up, let alone run anything, video-wise. Paul says, just let me know. Not a powerhouse, but would work for video conference and maybe as a CNC brain. Oh, it is a netbook. Okay. Yeah, the one I have still runs on XP. It's like I bought it a long time ago. Robert says depends on how old the laptop and whether or not the parts can be found and whether or not they can be found. Yeah, I have found the parts, and I was going to try to do it myself, but really I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to take it to someone who knows what they're doing. But we'll see how it goes. Paul says Windows 7 on this one. Ooh. I love Windows 7. I like Windows 7. I liked XP. And I like Windows 10. Windows 8, whatever, yeah, no thanks. Or Vista. Oh, jeez. I am really surprised that this battery hasn't died. It's at 9% now. It seriously went from like 80 to 10 in 20 minutes. It was very weird. Neptune says Linux. Yeah, you know, I've been looking back into Linux lately. Mainly because I've been looking into possibly building my own NAS, you know, for storing video files and stuff. I really want to. Been looking at ways, you know, to have more backups, and all of my stuff now is backed up on a second hard drive. But I've been looking at building a NAS, or like a little home server, and I've been coming across a bunch of these, you know, turn your old PC into a home server NAS, you know, and a lot of them run a Linux on there. So I've been thinking about that. So I might end up doing that at some point. I've got an old PC that I've been thinking about doing. It's got a lot of drive bays in there. I could load it up with a whole bunch of hard drives, you know, set them up however they need to be, and I might mess with Linux for that. I've tried it before, like as my normal PC operating system. I did not enjoy it. I used Ubuntu, and it's just like, I'm not a programmer, you know, but I just didn't enjoy having to you know, run the command prompt thing to do normal stuff. And Ubuntu is, from what I've seen, is better than some of the other ones as far as it, you know, it's got the GUI, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of just like Windows as much as I don't. Paul says, I hacked Windows 11 on this one for a bit, and Linux, and even made a Hackintosh out of it for a while. Ran everything okay. Oh, that's cool. The old Hackintosh. Wayne's here. Wayne says, Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, Wayne. How are you doing? Happy New Year. Mike says, Linux Mint, really easy. I've not tried that. I've not tried Mint. Paul says, I'm a SUSE fan. Susie? Robert says, monitor replacement on a laptop can be tricky. It used to be a computer tech, and I had to replace a few. I hated it because of all the tiny connections that are easy to break getting to the connections. Yes. Ooh, we had a little froze up there. Have we frozen? Yeah, that's part of the reason that I didn't want to do it myself. I was afraid I'd ruin it, and then I'd try to take it to somebody else, and then they'd have to fix my mess. I'd rather let them break it than they can take care of what they broke. Neptunes is asking Paul, what's your YouTube channel? Waldrop Guitars. Neptune says, I don't do much terminal stuff in Linux. I use Mint. I'm going to have to look at that. I've also heard that there is a Linux server. I don't know if I cut out, but I've heard that there's a Linux server, which might work for what I need. But from what I've heard, without researching it yet, from what I've heard, it doesn't quite have the, you know, the graphical interface. So to me, that sounds like it's more terminal controls, which I don't like. Mainly because I don't know what I'm doing. Heritage says, used to run Ubuntu. Was great, but I missed a couple of Windows apps that I really like. Yeah, there was a few Windows features that I, too, was used to as part of my workflow. But, I don't know. If anybody has any good recommendations for an OS to run like a home server, NAS, you know, so I can set up, you know, RAID for, you know, drives, and set up like shares and things so that I can have, you know, videos and or movies, you know, to stream, that I can do all of that through. I don't know if there is one without having to set up like the little what is that, Docker or something, where it runs the different services. Robert says, Ubuntu is nice, looks and runs like a Windows. Problem was trying to get applications other than what it comes with to install. Yeah, I kind of remember that. What is that app? Get commands something? I don't know. Paul says, to Harry Dude, I hacked my Linux to run Windows apps. It worked fine. There are also programs that you can buy that will auto-config the wine so it loads programs and they run in Windows. Interesting. Yeah, see, I know there's a ton of cool stuff that you can do to make that kind of stuff work. But, you know, I'm just not... I don't know enough about the commands and things to be able to just know off the top of my head that this is what I need to type in, you know. If I can find a write-up that tells me how to do it, I'll put in this line of text and this, I can get it done, but, yeah. Rogue says, as much as I hate Windows, there's nothing easier, so used to it. I agree with you, 100%. I know my way around it pretty good. But yeah, it's my favorite. And I'm not like, you know, the Windows fanboy or anything, but it is the one that I like. Harry Dude says, I tried that, but didn't have any success. Sorry, Harry Dude, I can't give you a whole lot of insight on that. I'm not the guy. My brother-in-law is pretty good with stuff like that, and he'd be the one to talk to if I was trying to go that route. Paul says you can configure Windows 10 or 11 to act like a server if your network is local. Not the greatest, but it works. I use Red Hat as my server. KK! KK's here! He says, Happy New Year's to you and all... To you all, and to our brother Jeff and his family. May you all be well in 2023 with health and peace from Kostas in Greece, Europe. My best wishes. Right on, my friend. KK, Happy New Year to you, man. And to your family and everybody. Give everyone my wishes. Happy New Year. It's going to be a good one. I can feel it. I'm excited. Robert says a friend of mine likes working with the Raspberry Pi systems, but he's also into Linux and programming. Yeah, I've not messed with Raspberry Pi too much. The brain for my CNC machine is a Raspberry Pi. So I've kind of been thinking about other things that I might be able to do with that. I don't know. Paul says 80% of machines on my network are Macs. Yeah, I never got into the Macs. I've used them a little bit. The only thing Mac we have in the house is this thing, this iPad. The only reason I bought the iPad was because I was playing in a cover band at the time, and we used in-ear monitors instead of stage monitors. And we were running a PreSonus board, but you could control your in-ear mix through an app, but the app was only available on iPad or an iPhone. They didn't have an Android app at the time, so that's the only reason I bought the iPad. Now they have it for both, so, but yeah, that's how I got into the iPad. Paul says only 4 Windows machines, 1 game, small Dell Mini, and 2 work machines. Rogue says, yeah, man, have a great 2023, everybody. Gotta hit it. Right on, dude. Take care. Thanks for dropping by. Robert says the basic Windows Pro does have some server functions that are built into it. Most of my systems I run on Windows 10 with 1 Windows 11. Neptune says I broke down and got a Netgear rack mount NAS. It supports 4 drives. Have 3 terabytes at the moment. Have it set to RAID 10. RAID 10, does that do the striping across all 3? Can't remember all my RAID. Heritage says he uses a combination of Macs and PCs, but do prefer Windows as a daily driver and Macs for music production editing. Yeah, that seems to be a fairly common... Like, a lot of guys will run a Mac for their studio recording stuff. Yeah, totally common. I've seen that a bazillion times. KK! Woo! Says, thanks, Jeff. I'm back. May we all be well. Right on, brother. Yeah, I have... Right now, most of my backups are on external hard drives. I have them both. They're both on my local network, and it just backs up from the PCs to these hard drives. One of them is for all my video stuff. It's like an 8 terabyte drive. So I was looking into just buying like a Synology, you know, one of those disk station things with the like 6 drives. But they're pretty expensive on its own, and then you have to add the drives. So you know, you're I don't remember what they were, $700-800 or something like that with no drives, and then to put a whole bunch of pretty large capacity drives in there. I mean, I was looking at like $2,000 to get this thing set up. So then that kind of got me thinking about turning an old PC that I have that's not being used into one of these NAS devices. So I don't know. Neptune says it stripes and mirrors and uses 4 1 terabytes, but you lose some storage with striping. Yeah, basically what I think having 6 drives I think would work. I want to do 1 pair of drives, and feel free if you guys don't think this is a good idea. And I'm not set on anything because, well, I haven't even tackled it yet. I want to do a pair of drives in RAID. What is it, RAID? Just the mirroring. I can't remember what it is, 2 or 1 or 5. 1 pair of drives to back up my work, my home-built stuff. Another pair of drives for backing up like our documents and things, and then I want another pair of drives to put, you know, to start like a movie server thing, you know, that you can stream to the TV. So like I'm coming up with 6 drives. Paul says, fix the laptop, post the video, act like you're an IT YouTube channel, and get a sponsor to send you a free NAS for testing. We won't be offended. Probably is going to take me more than 1 video before somebody says, hey, I like your thinking though. Robert says, I started out working on Mac when I was working as an artist illustrator, but then switched to computer tech work and had to learn Windows. And Paul says, just remember, friends don't let friends use Microsoft. Right on. Cool. Well, guys, we are at the top of the hour. We're at 67 minutes in, so I think now would be the time to post any last-minute questions, comments, suggestions, and if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. So YouTube will help spread the love. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I do need to wrap this up. I got to get back to doing some video editing so you guys can have a video to watch this weekend. And then I got to get to putting together some old furniture pieces and see if we can build something useful out of it. And I got to look at what leather tooling things I need. Right on, guys. Again, I want to say thank you for tuning in. And remember, this is going to be every Wednesday here on YouTube. No more of the switching back and forth. We're going to always be, the live streams will always be held here, right on the channel, so you don't have to remember. Oh, is it Facebook, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Always here. And, yeah. And if you're, for some reason you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. That'd be great. It's another goal for mine this year. I want to get to the channel. I want to build up the channel a little bit more, somehow. But anyway, guys, I hope you're all having an amazing start to your week and also year 2023. Happy 2023. Let's get out in your shops, make some cool stuff, do some cool things. Work with your hands. Teach someone else how to work with your hands. Let's do this. Right on, guys. Take care. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time. Neptune says, have a great day. Robert says, have a great week. Harry Dude says, stay well. Brian says, have a great week. Right on, guys. You guys are awesome. And you all, have a great week. Stay safe. Stay well. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.